my God, what is up YouTube? This is the African Bakura, bringing you my new segment, Rogue Challenge. Each week I will bring you a rogue deck. For all you rogue players, there is hope out there for you in this tournament. Yes, I, the African Bakura, have your back. Yes. Before I start this video, yes, savage that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed it. Yes. And let's have a conversation. You comment down below your thoughts on this deck. And also, what deck would you like me to showcase next week? Yes. Without further ado, let's savage this profile. What's up, guys? Yeah, so this week I am showcasing Witchcrafts. I worked pretty hard on this deck and try to get it as perfect as I can. Saw a couple deck lists of other people online. Saw what they're doing, and this is the build I came up with. So let's get into it. First off, I'm starting with the baby chicks. You got one Patore. So all the little ones basically tag themselves out into the bigger one, or any other ones outside of their names. But ideally, you want to tag them out to the big ones most of the time. I play only one of her because her effect isn't all that great. They all have that tag out effect, and then the second effect they have like a graveyard effect where they banish themselves. She banishes herself to add a card back from the grave, any Witchcrafter card. It's not really that great in the beginning, except for outside of one combo where it's okay. It doesn't really come up as much, but it's mainly mid to late game when like you need like a spellcaster or something to add back, or one of your spells. But that's about it. She's not really that important, so you don't really need multiples of her. She's just another name as well. So you play 3 Pator. She's really important. I see a lot of people just playing 2 of her. I think she's really important. You want to dig through your deck, and she helps that. She also helps fixes your hand. You just draw a card, discard a card, discard a Witchcrafter card that you need in the graveyard or whatever. So it actually helps. It conflicts with another card in the deck, but it's okay because you just leave it in the graveyard and just set up for the next turn. So I think it's important at 3. Then 3, Shemita. She is the most important one out of the baby ones. She foolish burials one from the deck to the grave. So and the one that you most likely will always foolish burial if you didn't open it is on one of the continuous spells. But another cool thing is that she's a fire, so it comes up with some other cards in the deck. 18 beat stick, so beat over a lot of things in the meta as well. You also can bait out a Balinx with this, so it was pretty good. Gotta play 3 of this. This is really important. I do not play the level 5. I think the level 5 is pretty bad. Is only played for, I think it's only played for one purpose, and it's to get this out or recur this. I mean, you also can like stretch them out of your hand whenever you have them clogged or whatever, but that's what this is for. So you just get them out of your hand and you draw a card anyway. So I play 2 of Hyenas. The goal is to end with this and the other powerhouse cards that you play in the deck. Veer is really good, which I only play 1 of. Veer is really good, but this is more important because this is more universal. So like one of the game plans is if you're playing 40 cards, I'm gonna summon this card on you and then have the powerhouses around it to back it up. If you're playing more than 40, I'm gonna summon this, because ideally this is better against Thunder Dragons and sometimes Salamangrates, but this really shines against Strikers, which is one of the most easiest matchups of this deck. And Salamangrates is decent if you have the perfect setup or whatever. So yeah, and if you draw 2, like I said, you have her, you summon her, pitch a spell, and then you activate her effect, discard it, and then you can reborn it back. So I don't think the level 5 is needed at all. It's just dead in my opinion. These are just better at 2. And then 1 Veer. This card is it's nuts. I don't think it's nuts enough to play multiples though. Another game plan. You just grind out your game 1s and 2s, and like when you're down to like 2-3 minutes, you just play this. And I beat so many Thunder Dragon players in testing because of this, because like it just special summon it. They don't read what this card does, or if they read it, they like miscalculate it, and then they just attack, and I go boost up her defense, and they just take damage, and I just win. Or you can summon her against Thunder Dragons. You know, they got Colossus and whatever, and you just negate all their effects, and then you just pump her up and beat over their Colossus if you need to, or beat over their Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, whatever. She's 13, and then you boost her by 2, so she's 33. You know, so you just beat over cards. Just really good. Solomon, great matchup. You can negate some of their boards. You can negate the Skull Dread and the Thunder Dragon matchup. Just really good. She's really good. She's really good. Just 1 though. That's it for the Witchcrafter monsters. The only other monster I play is Phantasme. I think it's like the only hand trap right now that's decent and that helps you progress your game state. Ash is cool, but I'd rather just see this, because if I see this and I play against strikers, it's just really good. And you see this against Thunder Dragons, you're drawing 3 cards. You know, and then it just fixes your whole hand, and then you'll be able to play next turn. Plus, it goes hand in hand with this against Thunder Dragons. Like 1 game I won against Black Kaiba. Shout out to Black Kaiba. I had both of these in defense mode, and we're going into time. And I hurried up and passed it to him with these in hand. I had 2 spells in hand, and I negated all his monsters' effect. He used Hot Red to negate this. I used this to negate Hot Red, destroy it. Then he attacked over this, and then went to attack into this with Hope, and I boosted the offense, and he just lost in the time because of it. So these are like bread and butter together. You have both of these on the board, are just really strong. That's it for the monsters. I think it's 13. Out to the spells, 3 creation. It just allows me to play, 10 more or 3 more Witchcrafter monsters. You don't really want to activate these cards on your first turn unless you necessarily have to. You just pitch them and then you add them back just to keep your resources in your hand and whatnot. And then 3 Monster Reborn. Again, you don't really want to use them on your first turn. There's a slight combo, like I was mentioning earlier, with this chick, where you normally summon her, you pitch this, or any of them ideally. But if you open these 2 and like another monster, you can just normally summon this, pitch this, and then set your cards up, and then you can bring this back, and then combo off, continue combo off, and then like if you go first and you had another one with Pator in your hand, you open Pator and let's say Hayane or something. This is why I say it's not really dead if you open these cards, because you can use this and pitch another spell and summon the level 4 or whatever, or Veer, and then activate her effect to dump this and then reborn it back. So you'll set up 2. So that's why I don't really play the level 5. You just do not need the card. It's just these ratios of the cards are 10 times better. And I played 2 By Street. A lot of people are just playing 1. I saw 1 dude playing 3. Almost actually took that into consideration, but I think 2 is just the perfect number. This is the card that you want to send off of the level 4 your first turn every single time, because it just has so much great ability. Like, people have to out this card before they out your monsters. So you just your whole board. I think this is like one of the important cards for your monster setup. It's like it just helps so much. It prevents your opponent from destroying your cards by more than once. So they have to destroy it twice just to get over your monsters. So with this and then the other setups that you're about to see, it's just too powerful. And just 1 scroll. The scroll is just cool to keep drawing your cards. I rarely ever dump it. Sometimes if I dump, if I have the other stuff in play, then I'll dump it. But you destroy opponent's monster by battle, you draw a card. So obviously it's really good. Continue to draw your cards. Conflict with another card in the deck, but it's okay. It's really okay. You can burn it if you want to, or it just sits there. Another cool thing, when on your opponent's turn, your opponent attacks into Veer or something, or when you're spellcasting, you use Veer's effect to pump whichever one of the spellcasters up. You still draw a card from that as well. So it's pretty good. That's all the Witchcrafter spell cards I played. I did not play Collaboration. I think Collaboration is just horrible. I don't think you need it. And then I think Draping. I was playing Draping at 1 in the deck, and then I took it out for another card because Draping doesn't really out cards. They just neuter them. They just put it back in your hand, and they can just use it your next turn. So you don't need it. I took it out for another card. You're gonna see it here in a little bit. 3 Pot of Extravagance. This card is just busted for this deck. It's a bait for Ash. So this deck loses to Ash. It's like this is just a bait for it. You activate this, 9 times out of 10 your opponent's gonna Ash it, and then your combo is just free. This is really good. There's not much to explain about this. Everybody knows what this does. I think this is the most important cards in the deck. The most important cards in the deck. You have to see this card. Just like I just said, you lose to Ash, so you have these plus the Extravagance just baits out the Ash Blossom. That's what they're there for. This you don't care for. You don't care if it gets Ash because you're not really losing anything. You're just losing an extra deck that you don't really go into. So if they Ash it, that's cool. If you don't have that and you just see one of these, you just auto win. And then if they don't have the Ash and you just have this, then it acts like another trap card. So you just hit all the cards that you don't need or you don't want them to use. I did mention that this deck has a free Skytracker matchup. This is why. 2 Secret Village and 2 Field Spells. You can play 3 and 1, or you can up it to 3 and play 2 if you want to. It don't matter. You play a lot of draw cards, so you're bound to see one of these cards. When you activate this and you summon Hyane against strikers, you auto win. They can't do anything to your board. They can't do anything to you at all. Their only out is to get 2 monsters on the board, and you have Hyane, and you with limited resources, so you're going to continue to pop a monster anyway. So they cannot beat you if you activate this card. You have Hyane on board. The next turn after that, you put a second Hyane on board, so they can't target your monsters. So now you got 2 Hyanes in the Secret Village. They cannot win. This is a free matchup. You just auto win. Against. In testing, I played against Prank Kids players. You activate this, they can't win either. It's just a lot of decks that you just can't win. They just can't win. I needed some discard spells because I didn't want to keep discarding like powerhouse spells and whatever. So I just threw in double Metaphor's Fusion. It is insane if you see that, and Shorty right here is insane because you just draw 2 cards for free. So it's just really insane. And it doesn't matter if you open it either because you just pitch it, and if you draw into it again, it's somewhat okay. Obviously, you want to draw into more cards, but you'll have it for next turn or whatever, or a free discard father from Hyane. And I took Draping out for Galaxy Cyclone. I didn't want to main deck Twin Twister because the deck just is ideal goal is to discard the spells to get your effects, and I didn't want to have Twin Twister in my hand and have to discard it, instead of setting it. So I just went with the Galaxy Cyclone. So if you draw it, you just hit opponent's set cards and whatever, and then you can pop like floodgates or whatever. I think the only floodgate that actually kind of hurt is there can be only one if you're going second against a deck that plays it, and this just helps with that. You're discarding and then just popping the floodgate or whatever. Anti-spell doesn't hurt. Imperial Order doesn't really hurt, because you can out those cards easily. So I think this was a really good application. I almost thought about playing 2 over the 2 Metaphor's Fusions, but you can take it whichever way you want. Last spell was Super Poly. This is really insane. Half my extra deck is a bunch of fusions. So it just helps you win certain matchups. Last 3 cards in the deck is Summon Limit. If you see this against Thunder Dragons or Salmon Greats, you just win. You have that with Hayane, you just auto win. That's it with the main deck. I think it's 41 cards. Extra deck. Instant fusion targets are the restrict monsters. This is just for like cards you can't get over. Colossus. It baits. It just baits the counter trap. You just activate instant fusion, summon it. You know they're bound to just negate instant fusion. If not, then they're just gonna get wrecked. So you summon it, you target the Sunlight Wolf, and they have to negate it, and then you just go off from there. This is the instant fusion target that you will go first if they do not ask your extravagance. If they're somewhat a crazy player and save an ash for something else, then you just summon this and just negate their ash. Play 2 because Pot of Extravagance, you can get away with playing a third. I just feel like this ratio is pretty cool because you know you got this to out cards and whatever. So one Chimera Tech is just for Cyber Dragon players, really. I didn't feel like Cyber Dragons was too much of a threat to play more than 2. It's just there because when they end their turn, if they decide to go first, you just contact fuse their Infinity and their extra deck monster or whatever, and you just wreck their day. So 2 of this guy. This is for the Thunder Dragon deck. It just beats them. It turns off a lot of stuff. You contact fuse the Colossus and the Hot Red, or the Colossus and the Zombie Sign, and you summon it, and then you turn off the other negate, which they're gonna negate this, and then you're just free to play your turn. So, 2 Violet Chimeras. You can get away with playing 3. You see this against Salmon Greats, typically you just win because you'll take their monsters and they're just left with either 1 or none, and you put Hayane on board and pop the last monster, and you just attack, and you set Summon Limit and you win. 2 Starving Venom. My teammate is borrowing the other one. This is for the Azathoth deck, and maybe BAs or something like that. Just rampant dark decks that's running around. And then 3 Link Kribos. This is just there because of the Pot of Extravagance. Also, the level 1 fusions. Doesn't really serve any other purpose than that. Hayate. I think this is really important. I really want to bump this up to 2 because this is why I said she served another purpose in the deck, because she's fire. She just summoned this, and you use this and something else to go into her, and then you take a fire monster from the Salmon Greats. Strikers, you'll be in a grind game a long period of time, but you will control the grind game the whole entire time. So you're able to get multiple monsters going to this. Take Kagari, or take a Phoenix or whatever that they try to summon, but you negate it with Veer, and you just go into Boar Sword and you just win. When you summon this, you're summoning Boar Sword. Always. Every time you summon this, you're summoning Boar Sword and you're just gonna win. That's it for the extra deck. And then side deck, we have, now this can be anything that you want. you can fix it towards your locals or your upcoming regionals. This was just testing toward all around my locals. My locals well diverse. You had a lot of the top triangle decks, and you have a lot of other good decks around. So 3 kaijus. It helps push against the Thunder Dragon matchup. It helps against Salamangreats. I think Salamangreats is a really tough matchup because they can just do a lot. Silicon Village doesn't really hurt them besides knocking off their field spell or whatever, and they can still play without the field spell. So this helps deal with the counter trap, but you don't really have to side in or whatever. Just other world decks, Kaijus are just really good against. 3 Pankratops. I think this is just the best side deck card in the side deck. So you just have this. I won against a Prankage player because I have this in Phantasmane. It was just really good. And then I was able to get to a Spellcaster with Secret Village, and it was just game after that. Like I said, Floodgates doesn't really hurt the deck, but this just helps apply pressure. You have this, and then you have a big beater Spellcaster on board. It's just hard for your opponent to deal with, especially when they have to deal with like the other Floodgates in the deck. 3 Twin Twister. This just helps against the striker matchup and like back row decks if I feel like you're going too much. Ideally, you want to decide 6 cards in all your matchups because it's just the deck is so tight. There's not much to side out, so you want to keep it at a minimum of like 6, I would say, or a maximum of 6. You don't really want to go over that because then you're just messing with your deck's consistency. The deck is so consistent right now. I work really hard in getting it there. So. 3 evenly matched. I think this is really good. It just helps in the striker matchup. Strikers are just, it's not that bad, but you know, normally they're going to go first when they see you playing Secret Village. And you don't ever side out Secret Village against strikers, just to let you know. If you see anywhere in the game, you see Secret Village and a Spellcaster, you auto win. Anywhere, anytime in that game. So you just keep it in going first, you keep it in going second. It's like side into Imperial Order, basically. Going first or second against strikers. This is just how it feels. But like going second, this just helps you clear their board. So they won't have the ability to chain like Twin Twisters or whatever on it. You just activate this, then you activate Secret Village, you activate you summon your spellcasters, you go off, you just win. This is also good against Guru, in a way, because you have to typically bait out 1 card. But all you really have to do is normal summon and activate effect. They'll try to bait it out, and then you can just reborn your spellcaster monster and save it for next turn to do it again. So that's also good against Draco. Draco, they have like their traps and stuff don't really do nothing. Their spell destruction is kind of iffy because it gets rid of buy street, and once they clear buy street, then they can clear your monsters. But ideally, they're gonna try to clear your Secret Village, and then they'll be able to play like their Diagrams and stuff like that. So True Draco is not really that big of an issue. I think the monsters actually does something in a matchup because they're just there and they're bigger. So, but it's not a hard matchup. The deck is very skillful, so all you really need is a little skill and you got it. And the last 3 cards are 3. There can be only 1. Just when you're going first against Thunder Dragons or Salamangreats, to just give you can side out your Secret Villages and slide into this, and it just gives you an extra floodgate to help you control the game and slow it down a little bit more. I don't really side it in against strikers because, like I said, you just auto win against strikers. Like just decks that abuse multiple monsters, you just flip this and you win, and then you draw into summon limit, and you just keep drawing to your cards because they can't really play around this. And that's it, guys. The deck is really good. I am actually undefeated with the deck for about a week and a half now. I've played strikers, I've played Thunder Dragons, I've played Dracos, I played Guru Control, I've played a lot of good meta decks, and I'm literally undefeated with the deck. So give it a try. So use this as a pillar. And comment down below what you guys came up with, you know, with this deck and how's it working out for you. This is the African Bakura signing out. Peace, my brothers. Salute, my sisters.